Wake up, everybody. Today I'm bringing on my buddy Amin. He has been throughout the hospitality industry for many years now, from a brick and mortar business owner to a traveling bartender all across the globe. Him and I get to sit down over some handcrafted cocktails that he makes up for us and get back to good old-fashioned talking. Of course, we've got to mention our affiliates, Buzzsprout. Have you been wanting to start a podcast? It's really not that difficult when you have the right partners, and we have the right partners with our affiliate, Buzzsprout. It is super simple after creating your profile and getting your podcast listed everywhere. Podcasts are available. Simply record your show with equipment you already have, upload it, and Buzzsprout pretty much does the rest. COVID's driving everybody crazy, and if you do not want to go outside to go grocery shopping, you don't have to. Instacart brings the groceries to you. They have stores everywhere with shoppers at the ready to hand select your items. Find Instacart in the show notes to get your promo code and give them a try. Groceries delivered to your front door as quickly as an hour. Try Instacart. It's a great company, and they are there to help you through all of this. And of course, we are sponsored today by Rosie Cooks out of the greater wine country in Northern California. Rosie Cooks, an absolutely amazing company. They've ran their business successfully for the past 14 plus years now. They were built around one woman's drive and her passion. She has studied her culinary arts all over the map and has brought it back to her catering business, and literally takes the word cater to a whole new level in the way that they create your menu. If you take your event personal, Rosie Cooks is absolutely the no-brainer. Without a doubt, the first contact you need for corporate events, weddings, concerts, gourmet company packaged lunches, private parties, or even wine pairings. Rosie has filled her team with members who match her passion for making their meals a grand experience no matter how it is served. You can follow them on Instagram or find them on Facebook really easy. Just search Rosie Cooks, and that's ROSEY Cooks, and be prepared to skim through some food porn, so please don't go scrolling while hungry. Tell them that Eric sent you. www.rosiecooks.com. That's www.roseycooks.com. Finally, Newness Productions for all your films and photography needs, from weddings, corporate events, promos, and social media. They cover it all. Newness Productions, NEWNESS Productions. Enough of all that, let's get on with it.
You take drugs, Danny? Every day.
This is ridiculous. It's crazy. I feel like I'm babysitting, except I'm not getting
I've
paid.
heard police work is dangerous.
It is. That's why I carry a big gun.
Aren't you afraid it might go off accidentally?
I used to have that
What
problem.
did you do about it?
I just think about baseball.
Declare
Whose children is this?
Zed's.
Who's Zed?
Zed's dead, baby. Zed's dead.
I gotta go to college. Danny, this isn't Russia.
For a disaster of biblical
What
proportion.
he means is Old Testament, Mr. Mayor. Real wrath of God type stuff. Fire and brimstone coming down from the skies. Rivers and seas boiling.
40 years of darkness, earthquakes, volcanoes.
Dead rising from the grave. Human sacrifice, dogs and cats living together. Mass hysteria.
That's what she said.
Well, thanks for coming on, buddy. Yeah, thanks for making the trip up. Absolutely. But back to what we were talking about is there's with no lack of sports, like it's just starting to come back.
Yeah.
And it's all weird right now. The lack of sports, there's nothing to root for. There's no positivity going. You know, there's no flow of that.
Yeah.
We're all looking down that narrow straw of COVID, China, Trump, Biden, like just everything. That's all that's on our plate right now.
Yeah.
And it's really frustrating because even when you're against somebody, it's like your team's against somebody, it's still fun. You know, there's no fun.
It takes away the escape of showing up. The whole purpose of a game or a pastime that you would show up to sports is so you can root and get away from your everyday life. And they put pretty much all the BS of your everyday life and all the politics and the headaches into everything else for some apparent reason.
I understand why they're doing it, but it's just it's everything. It's engulfed. There's no release, and what you're saying is like sports were mainly like on the weekends, on your days off. Let go of work, let go of stress, watch this and kind of relax, or play this and kind of escape. And there is no escape anymore.
Yeah, from our standpoint, it's entertainment.
Absolutely.
As a entertainer or professional basketball players or athlete, that's their business. That's their livelihood. But they're, in a sense, entertainers. Bartenders, movie stars, so on and so forth. They're all entertainers. And they all want to, and they're all supposed to help you take away and release. But right now, it's all just sort of circulates right back to it.
Right. So let's have, okay, so buddy, you brought some stuff up. And my podcast is literally just, like I said, about shooting the shit. Like what we're doing right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I want to kick it off. Let's plug what you do, because another reason I wanted to have you up is my business is very parallel to yours, you know, in the event aspect, what you're talking about. So you know specifically what I'm going through, and I know what you're going through.
Absolutely.
And I think there's plenty of people out there that all know what we're going through.
Yeah, I think that the backbone of the hospitality world is shattered and, I guess you could say, derailed, and a lot of
it's in recovery.
And a lot of people in the hospitality business, it's all fast money to them. Yeah. It's all cash. It's all tips, and it's all service money, and it's
it's not a salary check.
Yeah, and for me, they are essential. They are back to the escape of entertaining. Their job is to make sure that you don't go home and do something stupid because you're just filled with anger of your everyday life.
Right.
And it's definitely not easy. And with you and I, we do events. We're a lot luckier that we don't got to deal with that chaos right there. It's more of a private thing or corporate. And that is a... Am I allowed to cuss on the show?
Fuck yeah.
Oh, absolute fucking shit show.
Yeah, it's a shit show, buddy. It's an absolute shit show. I can tell you from my we're gonna get into it. Get some cocktails. Let's do your thing here.
So
what you got? You just bend it. Yeah.
As you know, I have a company called Barely Buzzed. We do liquid catering and events. Well, as of recent, events went to shit, so I'm focusing on pivoting. Luckily, I was able to pivot into cocktail classes and teaching people how to create cocktails at home. If you want to be a home bartender or a legit bartender, I'm going to be offering classes. But most recent, I have created cocktails to go. This is a lot. There we go.
You know, I've seen that too. I've seen you posting a bunch of those. You sell them like in packs, right?
Yeah. So pretty much they're adult Capri Suns.
Yeah.
They come in a pouch, and all you got to do is shake, add ice, and throw a straw in. This is an old fashioned, but I'm starting to bottle.
Okay.
This is
for me?
Yes.
Okay.
This is my Jameson Cinnamon Old Fashioned.
All right. What else do you bring?
Happy that I'm working on a new pineapple whiskey. And product line, and it's absolutely delicious. It's going to be called Happy Dance.
Happy Dance.
Yeah, working out all the legalities and so on and so forth.
Nice. So how do people find it? And how do they order it?
As of right now, you don't.
No?
This is something special for you and I to shoot the shit on Morning Brew and enjoy some cocktails and a new whiskey that I'm working on. Hopefully you give me some... Hopefully you say nothing but positivity, but if there is something that needs to be tweaked a little bit...
No.
Honest opinion.
Cheers, buddy.
Salute.
All right. It's Fireball-esque, but it's not... It's not that... It doesn't have that, like, whoa, sugar, you know?
So what you're tasting is a lot of the bitters. And it's just a very simple Jameson. I'm a huge Jameson fan.
Pull your mic in closer. Down low, like in your chest. Yeah, there you go.
Is that better?
Yeah, there we go.
I'm a huge Jameson fan, so I started doing a Jameson Old Fashioned because that's my whiskey of choice.
Well, you know I'm Irish, so I'm all about the Jameson.
Absolutely. The cinnamon and spices that you're tasting is from the bitters. It's an aromatic bitters, and then as it sat, it just sort of got stronger in flavor. So
it has like, it's not it has a slight burn, but it's not at all intolerable. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there's no like or anything. You can actually drink that and sip on that. That's really nice. I like that.
Yeah.
So what's we're gonna go through your your timeline of career here.
Oh,
you basically, I'm gonna correct me if I'm wrong. You kind of like stumbled, and I've done the same thing. Kind of stumbled through a bunch of different things and felt your way around. And it seems like you always came back to cocktails and.
Yeah, that's home. I want to say. I think ever since I was a kid, I've been attracted to cocktails. Maybe it's not something I should be excited about, but
let's not promote the teenagers.
I do not promote
disclaimer
or underage drinking. Drink responsibly. You must be 21 years of age to drink.
Right, like we all were.
Yes, absolutely.
Wink, wink.
One way or another, I was 21. But most importantly, drink responsibly. I can't emphasize that enough.
Yeah, a lot of people, stupid people. I don't drink as often as I used to.
That's not a bad thing.
No, I really don't. Like, I'm telling you, since I've started this podcast, I have drank more when recording than I probably have all year.
Is that the whole purpose of starting that podcast? Is that your scapegoat? That you can be like,
you caught
babe,
me.
I'm sorry.
No. It was honestly to try new brews and stuff.
Okay.
But you're the second person to bring on some spirits.
All right.
My other buddy brought up whiskey as well. He brought the Duke.
Okay. I've heard about it. I haven't had it.
The shit was smooth.
Was it?
Smooth. Like, no burn. I was shocked. That's probably one of the first whiskeys I've had that had zero burn.
Okay.
Like, almost like you got cheated a little bit that you had no burn, you know? But, yeah, I was super smooth. The rest of it was beers. I have a few. I like tasting beers. That's why I liked your little spot there. You guys were always filtering out craft brews.
It was one of the first in Lodi. First craft beer places in Lodi, and a few others came upon, and now that's amazing, and it's all over.
Yeah,
it's a handful of breweries.
Oh, well, the big guys, you know, Coors Light, Bud Light, those guys started diving into the craft brews. They got a little late, but they caught on.
And if they're not creating it, they're definitely picking them up and putting them on their team.
Yep. Well, they was it Budweiser? No, Coors Light, or Coors, I guess it would be. Coors bought Killian's Irish Red, right?
Yeah, I believe so. I want to say Budweiser, Anheuser-Busch anyways. I don't even know if it's considered Anheuser-Busch no more. I think it's been sold at least 2 or 3 times. But I want to say they purchased Lagunitas, maybe?
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's a smart move. They got popular quick.
But I'm not too sure. I am definitely speaking out of my ass. It is either Anheuser-Busch or...
but somebody bought Lagunitas?
Yeah, a major company bought them out, I think.
My hands down to this day, and I have one in the fridge. I think I'm going to wait till Gabby and I record an episode to crack it. But to this day, favorite beer, I'll pay $15 a glass for it, is Brother Thelonious. That is... Oh.
I'm a little sad that Costco stopped carrying it.
Oh, right. That's where I found it. Was it the cork in the bottle? That big bottle that they... Oh,
so,
man.
Kirkland or anybody listening that works for Costco or the higher-ups, please bring it back. Bring
that shit back. That is the most delicious beer I have ever laid my lips on. I don't know what it is, what they do. I don't care. It's just one of those beers that's like... It's filling, but it's not, like, overfilling. Yeah. You don't feel like you got... There's so many notes to it.
And it's a big boy, too. It's not a low ABV brew. It's absolutely a big boy. Respect it.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
I would have to say my favorite beer, still to this day, is the Petite Sour from High Water Brewing.
I can't get on with the sours. Gabby loves those sours.
I think she's the one that actually got
me into sours. She was always about, when she was working with you guys, it was like Crew or whatever it was. You know, she was all about the sours. Ugh. I was like, she gave me a beer once. It was like a peanut butter beer.
Yeah.
Nope.
That was probably...
Can't do it.
Belching Beaver, maybe, I think.
Can't mix that kind of stuff with my beer. It's just personal. Chocolate, peanut butter, all that stuff. Keep it out. I want to taste beer.
That's fair. Funny enough, prior to opening up Tap House Pizza, I refused to drink beer. I would only have a Corona maybe once a year just to sort of make sure I didn't get too drunk on shots. And then as
we all did as bartenders.
Yeah, I think so. I know that's a fact.
Let me hear. Not to interrupt, real quick. When Gabby and I first met, we were encouraged to shoot with the guests, right?
Yeah.
There was one night where I had to finally call it. We were doing it way too much. I was counting the till out. I'm going 20. I'm just like, I was so wasted at the end of the night. I was like, I gotta stop. I can't drink like this. I mean, I think that's what did us in. But anyways, back to your story.
I have a very similar story to that, and I actually had to call my boss at the time. I remember having one too many, and mind you, you should never drink while working. You are the one that's supposed to be responsible. I remember hiding the money bag because I couldn't count the money, taking a photo of it and sending it to my boss at the time and saying, sorry, I will come back first thing in the morning and count. And he goes, what the fuck happened? I said, long story, I'm not going to get into where, who, or why, but that does happen and you should be very careful.
Oh, man. Yeah, it does.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. We stayed until, I think it was like 4:30 in the morning drinking coffee. Just to, like, before we left to go home.
I can't confirm or deny this, but I may have stayed a night at that bar.
Camera footage will prove otherwise.
Me waking up, cuddling a pool stick said otherwise.
We could probably go back and forth, story for story, on bar stories. I've found people having sex in the underneath the stairs in our like basement area. I mean, there's so many things.
That wasn't me, right?
No, it wasn't.
Okay, because I have a similar story.
It was actually a paramedic and some other regular.
That's awesome. I think there's no doubt in my mind that we can go back and forth on stories because there is a story very similar about a guy, a very popular guy that was getting head from a female right there at the bar.
Ooh, jeez.
And we look over. And
how do you do that?
She liked him. She said, "Ooh, you're so."
Is it dark enough in the building?
No, it was like 6 to 7 o'clock at night. It wasn't.
What'd you do?
Hey,
you gotta go.
Stop?
Can you stop?
Yeah. What the fuck? And
can you stop?
And his response probably was the best. What was I supposed to do?
Oh, geez.
But yeah, no problem, Amin.
I've cleaned up too much blood. I've broken up too many fights. I've been in the middle of too many like lovers' quarrels.
Oh yeah.
I've listened to too many old codger stories. I had to give it up. I literally like, I joke. I say I'm retired as a bartender. I will never go back. I will go clean septic tanks before I go back to bartending. Just because I think I'm drained from the talk. It's not different. It's the same all the time.
It's same game, different faces.
Yeah.
It really is the same story, just new people.
Yeah. Well, yours is different because you get to go to parties and events, seeing people cut loose, and then walk away from it.
Yeah. That's sort of a very fun side of it, and I'm very grateful that I've been able to travel all around the world and be associated with some of the best cocktail places in the world and be in bartend at some of these places that I don't think some people don't even have a chance to visit.
Mm-hmm.
And seeing different drinking styles all around the world and different bars definitely made me appreciate and hate some of the places that I've worked at and been at, but back to what we were saying, I absolutely love it. I don't think.
Where have you? We don't get a chance to sit down and actually do a one-on-one like this. So where have you been? Like I've seen pictures. I've seen you riding elephants and shit.
So that was specifically Thailand.
Where at in Thailand?
That I want to say the elephant sanctuary was either in Phuket, and I'm pretty sure I'm pronouncing it wrong because I always want to say fuck it.
Yeah, it's fuck it. That's in my mind.
Yeah, you know.
That's what I read.
That or Chiang Mai. I don't remember actually what province it was exactly at, but it was one of the two.
How was Thailand?
Fucking Thailand. Bangkok is an absolute shit show, and everything they say is true.
What do you mean?
It's called Bangkok for a reason.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
But it's a major city. Any major city is an absolute shit show. Any true metropolitan. It's a metropolitan. It's busy, chaos. And then when you add millions of people plus tourism, it's hectic as all hell. But Patong is a little town on the island of Phuket, which was probably the craziest place I have ever been.
Yeah?
Hands down.
Why?
It was like L.A., New York, Vegas had a baby on steroids.
Jesus.
I've been to a lot of party places. I've been to Vegas, New York. I've been to a lot of places that are all about the entertainment. Patong was I tapped out. I couldn't handle how crazy and chaos it was. It was epic to be a part of. It was
really
epic to see, but not my scene. If you can legitly get anything. I don't even know if legitly is a word, by the way.
Legitimately?
Legitimately.
There you go.
Legitly.
It's all right. I don't.
That's all right.
No prejudice here.
No, nothing taken at all.
You just have to be able to form full sentences. I mean, I don't care if you mispronounce some words. Just form full sentences.
That's fair. If you can think of it, it was there at your disposal.
Really?
From ladyboys to scorpions and cocaine.
Jesus.
It was, like I said, I went to there to go, my buddy and I, we went and checked out a Muay Thai fight. Met a couple people, started talking. Next thing we know, we're in a few different nightclubs, and I still, as you can tell, I'm lost for words about this.
No, I get it. No, I asked because my stepfather was in Thailand years ago.
Oh, okay.
Like way back. Like he did, I guess they had like missions and stuff that they did over
awesome.
there that were secret. And anyways, he said the most beautiful place he's ever been is Thailand.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. Don't get me wrong. And I was going to get into Chiang Mai. Chiang Mai is one of my top 5 places in the world. It's what I envision Thailand is supposed to be like. The mountains, beautiful, gorgeous greenery, monks, Buddhist temples, and you at one point or another you will get tired of Buddhist temples.
Really?
Yeah, and I love Buddhist temples. I try to follow the rites of Buddhism, so on and so forth. But
I like a lot of the Buddhism. So the Buddhism religion.
Yeah.
I like a lot of it. I've read a bit, and it's really hard to disagree with some of it.
Yeah, it's a way of life.
It really is, and it's a very peaceful way.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's more of a don't take any shit, but be peaceful.
Yeah.
Type of. And I kind of relate. I can relate to that quite a bit.
Yeah. I think everybody should at least look into it just a smidge. It might make them a little happier.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I have a book called The Tao of Pooh.
Okay. Yeah.
And it's like a Pooh Bear. It's a real quick read, but it's like, it's basically how Pooh Bear is the most perfect Buddhist monk. He's just like, he is what he is. He's just super peaceful, and he treats everybody like everybody.
How he wants to be treated.
Yeah.
That's a good way to look at it. I've never thought about it.
I was thinking about that too. I was just, with all this BLM and COVID, it's really like almost turning people into a slight racist, because I just had Justice on.
Okay.
And we had brought you up for some reason. I was like, I've never really seen color. I don't think I've even asked you. Like, I don't even know what Amin is, because I was saying Amin's coming on. I don't even know what he is, but I don't give a shit. I just care if he's a good guy. Like, that's it.
I think a lot of people lose that idea as long as you're a good human being.
Right.
Point blank period, we're all human beings.
Right.
But a little joke I always say, and it still might be too soon, but I always...
I remember this.
You know,
I heard you say it on the bar once. You're not...
I'm 9/11, not 7/11. A lot of people think I'm Indian. I'm not. I'm Arabic. I don't condone what happened with 9/11. That was a tragic situation, but...
It's a joke. We get it. It's a fucking joke. We have to be able to laugh a little bit. I get it. You're not making fun of people that died in there.
No, not at all.
You're just pointing out the difference.
Some of actually my closest friends were involved in that aftermath, and it's fucking... They're still shaking up about it.
You know, supposedly, I worked at this athletic club in Chico, and the owner was his last name, I think, DeLuca.
Okay.
And he apparently co-owned a gym that was in the Trade Center and had sold his portion or something, and just moved out here right before that happened.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
a very close friend of mine was supposed to be in the World Trade Center that day. He was a day trader. And he's like, no, he ended up visiting his father, I believe, and missed that whole week of work. And sure enough, and I'm very grateful that he did, because...
Yeah, no shit.
But anyways, anybody that knows me, if you can't talk shit and joke about serious situations, you might not want to be my friend.
But it's also... See, at my heart... You got to make those jokes. Like, I can make that joke or talk to you about it because I know you. Somebody else, I feel like if they just said it, they might not mean well, but there still needs to be that filter there that's like, hey, say that to people you know.
Have common courtesy for other people that might not understand your sense of humor.
Right.
Point blank, period. I'm sorry if that offended you, but it's not meant to.
No. See, like, I can laugh, but in the back of my mind, I always think about people that are my friends that are those ethnicities, and I always wonder, like, I wonder if that would offend them or if they would laugh at that. Because I don't know, because if you make a white joke, I never get offended. It's like white people are fucked up, I get it.
I think all people are fucked up, and it goes back to
humans.
Why do you see color, see good or bad? Point blank, period.
I say that all the time.
And don't get me wrong, people do see color, and it's fucked up what's going on right now. But
both ways. Both ways.
Both sides is fucked up.
Yeah.
Both sides.
That's what I mean. It's pointing it out.
Uh-huh.
It's pointing it out. I said this on one of my episodes. There was a dude that posted, it said, if you're a white photographer, do not come out to Black Lives Matter protests. I'm like, motherfucker, that's what you're fighting for. And if they're on your side, you want them on your side. It's harmony where you're trying to, you're right? Or are you just trying for destruction?
I think a lot of people try to find the balance, and it's finding the balance of both. And I think there's people that want to see destruction. It's company loves misery, or excuse me, misery enjoys company. Is that how that phrase goes?
And you know what I can't stand? I can't stand this. I can't stand the photos of people with their other. This is my buddy who's black, and it's like, keep that shit to yourself. You're just now pointing it out. By doing that, you just pointed it out.
I read a meme a couple days ago, and it makes a lot of sense. Racism hasn't left. And it's not just one-sided. It's all around everywhere. Racism is racism.
Mm-hmm.
It happens if you're Arab, black, white, Mexican, are different races get it a little more, yes, absolutely. But my favorite meme that I just read was, it hasn't left. We just have the technology that exposes it now.
We can film it. Will Smith said something like that. He said, racism isn't new. It's just now being filmed.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
And it dates back to historical wars from centuries ago, not just recently in the last century. Centuries ago, 1800s.
There's slivers of the pie, though. You're good. My point is, if you don't just say, knock it off, I'm not doing that. I'm not taking a photo with you because there's this movement of Arabic people, and and if you want one, sure, I'll pose with you, but I'm not doing it because I look at you as a friend, not anything else. It's until people start waking up to just logic, like, knock it off. Mm-hmm. Just treat everybody right, and understand that everybody's got a movement. But
spread love. Point blank.
Right.
Period.
Like, what? You're pointing it out. At what point do you realize you're pointing it out? You think you're defending it, but you're actually making it worse. You know?
Yeah.
I don't look at a single person who has posted a photo if they're a white person with their black friend. I don't think that's positive at all. I'm not a single person.
No.
Why?
I think they should post. If that's how they post it. Enjoy it. If it makes them happy,
sure.
Be happy. If that's your way of spreading love. For me, cocktails is my way of spreading love. So I try to share cocktails everywhere I go.
Right. There you go.
That's my way of spreading positivity. That might be destruction in some people's eyes. It's obviously not as destructive as some things that are happening, but so on and so forth. Like I can't emphasize enough. Spread fucking love.
Right. Look
at people as humans, not a fucking color, not a race.
It's just nobody notices the hypocrisy in anything. I mean, really, they don't. I just started this show on Amazon Prime called Night Watch, and I'm like addicted to it, and it covers emergency services through New Orleans, and then I think the 4th season they go into Tampa too. Okay. But it's EMTs, paramedics, EMTs, police officers, and fire department.
Is this actual footage?
Yes,
or
yes. They follow them around and they like talk, and then they like. It's really good show. But in 2016, it was during the Black Lives Matter movement, right at the end of the Obama administration. There was this officer dealing with a situation, and one of the guys in New Orleans was like, Black Lives Matter, and one of the officers was black, and he goes, I hope my life matters. He's like, well, it's just, and then the suspect looked at him and realized that he was black, and then didn't know what to say. And anyways, but we were talking about, you can't get away from it. So let's go back to cocktails.
Yeah, absolutely. With that being said, I don't think anybody should die or be hurt because of who they are.
Right.
Unless they're an evil person.
Yeah, they're
evil.
evil.
I've been watching Lucifer lately, and if you haven't seen an episode, watch it. It puts the devil in a different circumstance. He's not evil. He's there to punish the evil.
I'll check it out.
It was a really good watch. I binge watched all 4 seasons. But back to cocktails.
Yes.
I love cocktails.
Yeah.
My motto is life's way too short for a bad cocktail.
The hard part with cocktails is controlling the ones that don't deal with being drunk well.
That's a whole different story.
See, but like back to what I said, with the event, it's cool because you can walk away from it without any responsibility of your guests.
That's not true.
For the most part.
It's a little easier. So, I know you're in the catering business and you do events. Do you specifically deal with food, or have you done alcohol events?
We've done. No, we have. I have bartended before. I have bartended a couple events for the catering company. Now I'm simply films and photography.
Okay, awesome.
But
smart choice.
Yeah, it can be. Well, yeah, right now, yeah, they're making it work. Yeah. No, the catering business is doing really well. Awesome. They're doing a lot of to-goes and takeout orders.
Oh, fantastic.
A lot with the hospitals, a lot with Okay. So they're kind of like what you said. You pivot. It's about ingenuity, and we're gonna see a lot of small businesses sink because they don't know how to pivot, and they can't figure it out.
And you'll see a lot of, and the people that can, I'm hoping they soar and go beyond any expectation that they were thinking that they were going to achieve. Yeah,
it's a weird time right now, man. Check this out. Well, let's go. Let's not lose the track of what you were saying. So, you're asking me if we've dealt with alcohol.
So as I was the reason I asked that is the way I look at it. Every person serving alcohol to a individual, as a bartender and a professional, your job is to understand and maintain a level, which is where a lot of their problems and self-esteem gets upset. They get mad because you have to cut them off, so on and so forth. But being able to walk away, I wish it was that simple to walk away. That might just be the way I was raised or the way I was taught how to bartend. But it is a lot easier because I don't have to keep them there until 2 a.m. and then force them out of a door.
Right. So, from my experience when bartending at events, at weddings and stuff like that, we typically contractually set it up to the fact that there's going to be a bartender there until about roughly between these hours, and then after these hours, he leaves it to an open bar. And then he basically shuts down his stuff, leaving everybody else
responsible for
yes. So that's kind of how we had it structured. So I guess that's where I'm coming from.
And that's fair. And it's funny because as you were saying that, I started thinking, when you do events and weddings, it's for the most part it's a celebration. So people's mindsets are different.
They're happy.
Yeah, where at a bar or a restaurant, people drinking, they're going to blow off a steam.
Coming home from work.
Yeah.
Leaving a fight with the lady or the husband or that, you know. Yes.
And I'm sure you being in the industry, you've
seen it all.
Some craziness.
Seen it all.
I haven't. A really close friend of mine, him and I have been talking about, and one of our side projects that we always talk about wanting to do is a film about the food and beverage industry, sort of like Waiting, but for the bartender and real.
Let's talk. Let's talk. I'll film it. Let's talk.
You know, that might. We'll definitely talk about that later. Absolutely.
We'll run a script and everything, because I am telling you, I've seen girls end up making out with each other. I've seen guys end up making out with each other on accident. I've seen fights.
What is the weirdest thing you've seen behind a bar?
The very first thing that comes to mind is I was bartending and we had these two regulars, and there were a couple. And they always came in, they always ordered wings and had the happy hour special beers and everything. They were there for a good hour and a half already. Okay. And out of nowhere, and I'm like pulling one of the racks out of the dishwasher, and I'm getting ready to start wiping down glasses. Out of nowhere, she looks over at her boyfriend or her beau or whatever he was. So you told me that you were heading to bed early last night, and you text me that at 9 p.m. I drove by your house at 10, 11, and 1 o'clock in the morning, and your car still wasn't there. So where were you? And this dude didn't flinch. He was still eating his wings. He finished his wing. He wiped his mouth. He stood up, grabbed his keys, and walked out. That's it.
All right.
It was it. I was the weirdest. I think I know. Okay, there's two. Okay, that was one. It was just strange. It was the weirdest interaction, and he walked out. She chased after him after like throwing a bunch of cash down, and he just peeled out of the parking lot. I watched the whole thing unfold, like,
all right.
And they never came back in ever again.
Neither one of them.
Neither. Well, no, she did with her girlfriend later on, but that was strange. The other strange thing was, we had this lady, and she used to come in all the time and get dirty martinis, extra dirty, and slam them back. She's a local that would get cut off from other places all the time and bar hop. Then she just stopped coming in, and she was a regular, like 4 days a week type regular. She stopped coming in. About a month and a half, maybe 2 months later, she comes in, face is completely black and blue. Completely. Just something like, it almost looked like, you know those people that have, I don't know what that skin is, that, you know what I mean, where they have like patchy skin where they're brown and white, kind of. What's that called?
Vitiligo.
You know what I'm talking about, though. It almost looked like that. I had to double take because it was her complete face, and it was just busted. She's missing her arm, complete all the way up to here, right here, and she has her purse because she had her little nub like this. Sits down, orders another martini. I found out from my buddy who was a police officer for down in Lodi. I find out that she blew through an intersection, wasted, in her yellow Corvette, split a car in two, and he parked his patrol car, blocking off the intersection, was running to the wreck, and he was kind of going over debris, and as he was stepping over, he realized that's her arm. her arm got ripped off. She was so wasted. And she was back in the bar before she's fully recovered, ordering another dirty martini.
Jesus.
That was when I had moral. That was my very first moral dilemma, where I really wanted to give her the glass. I go, here, this one's on me, because your arm is missing because of this. It was a big wake up call where I was like, I don't want to serve her. Yeah. She has a fucking problem.
Yeah, but is that our responsibility to, as long as it's not affecting that situation? Don't get me wrong.
Had she killed kids? Had she killed those kids, it would have been. It would have been, had you been the last bartender to serve her right before she went and split that car, your ass would have been in jail.
I would have took her keys.
I've done that. We've called the cops. Mm-hmm. I'm telling you, we could go. Yeah. I literally, while she was wasted, I asked my manager to distract her, and he was talking to her, and I slid her keys into my tip bucket, and they fell like on the cash, so they didn't make any sound. And I just took my tip bucket and walked out, and she couldn't find her keys. She's dumping her purse out. She was about to walk on the highway down all the 40 minutes home, and the cop came up. And the funny thing was we called her a taxi. We said, we're going to call you a taxi. We're trying to be nice. Cop rolls up, and the taxi's right behind her, right behind him, and she's throwing a fit out on the bench. And the cop goes, I'm going to ask you this once. Do you want to go home in the back of his car or in the back of my car? And she goes, fuck you. And he looks at the taxi. He goes, go home. He goes, hands behind your back.
Jesus. Yeah. I've seen it affect people in crazy ways. Some good, some horrible, and some people should never touch it. But I think that's with any vice. Some people just shouldn't have that vice. Point blank, period. Mm-hmm.
Agreed.
So, while you were telling me this story, I decided to pour you this pineapple whiskey. I apologize, Gabby, if you come home and he's a little tipsy.
I'm not going to be tipsy. I'm Irish.
So,
are we shooting this? What is this?
You can sip it, shoot it. It is a whiskey. It's a blend that I make, and it's infused with pineapple.
That's sweet.
Yeah, it's I have to warn you, that is 100% whiskey. It's not the ways that I do it.
Thanks for warning me
cocktails.
After I drank it. I really appreciate that.
I didn't want you to think it was a cocktail. It is not.
By the way, that's Rufalin.
I don't give out free drugs.
Not free? I had to pay. No, man, I think that's the weirdest. What's about you?
So, I would have to say, I have several, but the first few that come to mind would be, I had a group of gentlemen that would come in every Sunday morning and play. It was a gay group, and they would play Queen, Another One Bites the Dust.
Mm-hmm.
Every Sunday morning. I asked him, I finally asked, why do you always play this song? Every now and he goes, well, if one of us got lucky the night before and it was a newbie, another one bit the dust, so we play it. I said, the fuck? He goes, yeah, that's the theme song. That's what that means. I'm like, I don't think that's what that means. He goes, yeah, that's what that means. At least,
what?
Supposedly, the Queen song "Another One Bites the Dust" is a reference to people switching teams or understanding their relevance of sexuality.
I guess that would make sense with Freddie Mercury.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, okay.
Huh.
Nothing as well. No, I do have a story to match that. So I had my first moral dilemma as a bartender. It was a day shift. A couple came in, have a handful of drinks, and they were drinking Jack and Cokes actually. They were there maybe 45 minutes. Put down 6 tall Jack and Cokes amongst themselves, each person by themselves. I said, oh, okay. They're like, oh, we're taking off. I said, well, you hang out for a little bit, guys. Like, let me get you some water. Call us out. Like, why are you leaving right now? Like, oh, we're going to go pick up our kids from church. I said, yo, time out. The fuck? And they're like, yeah. I said, no.
That shit happens more often than you think.
I said, no. I said, what the fuck? No, let me call you a taxi. What we gotta go? I'll send the taxi to go get the kids. I will send one of you guys with them. So I actually called the cops on them, and they figured it out. I felt horrible for calling the cops on them because they were just coming to say hi. But at what point do you allow something like that?
Well, I think it comes down to thinking down the road. You know, like I always tell Gabby, I'm always trying to think about the pathways. If I go down this road, where's it going to lead? Where's it going to lead? Where's it going to lead? Okay, let's try this one. If you had not called the cops, that pathway could have gone, I'm going to go get the kids. I'm going to fall asleep at the wheel going smashed into the church, you know, killing all the... Yeah.
I would have felt horrible if I heard the next day or later that night something happened.
Yep.
I did offer them to get a taxi, but they didn't take it.
Yep.
And with today's day and age,
Uber,
there is no reason to drink and drive.
Nope.
Honestly, there is no reason to. If you have a phone and if you don't have a phone... I'd be shocked. There's
no reason. Look, you know how easy don't even have to use Uber for for just alcohol reasons. Shit, Gabby and I, we go up to the river and we'll float.
Yeah.
But we get those waterproof cases that you can clip on with carabiners. So we'll clip it onto our ice chest and we'll have sandwiches and beers and we'll just float. And then we get off where everybody else gets off. And then we pull our phones out of the waterproof cases, call Uber, deflate, and the Uber takes us back to our car.
Yeah, no, that's awesome.
I mean, there's absolutely no reason. If you can touch your phone and text people back while drunk, you can call for an Uber.
And it's not that expensive.
It's not bad at all.
Very convenient.
Yeah, unless you're way out in the boons.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, I mean, that's the only reason.
I'm figuring if you're going to go to somewhere way out in the boons, you have a plan already.
Well, now it's going to be interesting because now it's like, everything's making changes because Newsom made it harder for people to be Ubers. You know, they have to be all of us independent contractors. It's almost like there's no such thing anymore, and people are fighting for that. But I've seen some weird shit. I've seen a dude. You might know him. We'll talk about it off air. I'm not gonna say his name, but I know a dude who was a regular band player at I worked at the bar that was we had bands every weekend, and his girlfriend would come in all the time, and she was always in these fur coats and just she thought anyways she was just working whatever she's got, and I think she liked making him jealous, and she would dance on the floor while he's playing with him. I actually had him continue playing his wireless electric guitar while walking into the crowd to chest bump the guy who's dancing with his girlfriend and try to fight with him while he continues to try and play.
Did he break a chord?
Nope.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh yeah, that was pretty cool, but we did have to he put us in a position where we actually had to kick him and that group out.
Yeah.
Or kick the band out. It was a really tough position because the people were like, he started it with us. She was dancing with me. I didn't even know she was the lead singer and player's girlfriend, but she would do stuff like that all the time, and we had to clean it up.
Yeah.
I mean, it was...
I don't think people understand their actions have consequences that...
Not when they have this in them.
I don't even think that is an excuse. I've dealt with sober people that don't understand this concept, that their actions have consequences that the staff or the establishment have to deal with, and then the staff or the establishment are bad people.
Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons why I can't stand Yelp. The Yelp has very positive things about Yelp, but there's also a lot of negative things.
Well, that's why I said no comments is good because only bad comments are what come through.
I've always joked I want to do a Yelp page for business owners and employees where we get to talk about the customer. Obviously, it'd be anonymous, and but instead of yelping, you'd be like, "Well, you shouldn't have done this," or "You shouldn't have walked up and broke a bottle before yelling at the bartender."
Right? Oh man, it's stupid shit. Look, that rule in waiting is the cardinal rule.
Yep.
It is true. And if anybody's listening, you don't fuck with people that serve you food or anything. You don't screw with your surgeon, your barber, your tattoo artist. You don't fuck with your bartender. You don't fuck with people that screw with your food. Because me, at least I was raised with some morals. It was like, even the worst customers I filtered were like, no, I can't do that to their food. But I am a rare breed.
You and I both, and I have seen some fucked up shit in this.
Where you piss somebody off. I mean, I've seen chefs just for sending something back because it's not cooked well enough do some fucked up things, and it's like, you can't do that, bro. You know, like you got to give them a new steak. You've got to start one. Yeah,
yes, yeah.
But you don't fuck with people that serve you like that.
I think that cardinal rule should be a way of life. You don't be a dickhead to anybody, let alone people that influence what you're consuming or sharp objects by your face.
Do you know what a 3 wise men is in the cocktail book?
Yes.
Okay. So this is my one bar. Here's one more bar story. I had these guys come in, and it was a birthday party, and the guys were like mid-20s. And they wanted to get their birthday boy a shot. Give shots. And they were just getting all, Jersey Shore ready to fist pump. And I said, all right, what are we doing? And they were like, we don't give a fuck, bro. Give him a shot. And I said, got it. So I gave him a 3 wise men, Jim, Jack, and Jose. And that dude was passed out. Like, he shot that thing, and I found him as we were closing the bar. Found him out front on our bench, asleep, just passed out face first. And I tried waking him up, didn't wake up, and his buddies were across the street at Cactus.
Yep.
And I said, you guys got 5 minutes before I call the cops on your buddy out there. And I said, I'm shut down. And I just left, and they ended up trying to wake him up. And I never called the cops. I just left.
Yeah, today's... Have you ever heard of a Macho Man?
No.
So it's Fireball.
I'm out. I'm out of the game, bro.
It's Fireball and 151. It's fucking disgusting. But that's the equivalent to what people... 3 wise men. Everybody has their shitty shot.
Oh, yeah.
I used to have a bottle of moonshine that I would pour out to people that expected certain things. Until one day, the person that got the shot... the person that ordered the shot that was being a dickhead that I wanted to give this drink to gave it to the sweetest girl, and by the time I couldn't get to her fast enough before she drank it, and I felt like a fucking dick. I felt so horrible. That's when I stopped doing that. Can you do a rainbow shot? I can. Okay, what is that? How do you do that? It is a pain in the ass. Yeah, but I know, but everybody wants it. It's a lot of fun. It's a layered cocktail, pretty much. Okay. So what you do is you make your base spirit, whatever your base liquor is going to be. Got it. You pour it into you shake it, chill it, and then you make that. And then you make the layers? Then you make the layers, which is all juice. Okay. Except it's all non-alcoholic, unless you're using blue curacao, which is, you can have the non-alcoholic or the cordial. So it's, I believe, cherry syrup, add a shit ton of ice, OJ sweet and sour, more ice. The idea is to separate it with the ice. Okay. And then you layer it through your shaker with ice, and you very carefully, so at the very top, you hit it with blue curacao. And what you do is you very slowly pour it. You start pouring it out, and as you're pouring it out, the ice separates all the cordials, which gives it the different multicolors. And when green touches or blue touches yellow, it turns green. That's how you get in, and then the bottom is the red. And that's where you get your 4 different colors or 5 different colors. Damn. Yeah. That's a lot of work, man. It's a fun thing to make for entertainment reasons. Yeah. And 21-year-olds, it's shitty to make when you have 4 deep, 400 people. Right. Yes. So on and so forth. The yell across the bar. We can't work it. No. But I also believe that we're in the business of entertaining, and if that's what the customer wants, as long as they're not. Most time, I will say the customer's right. It doesn't matter if I'm in a shit storm. There's times where I'll tell you to fuck off, but come back, sorry.
My favorite's when people are shocked at the beer list prices or the cocktail list prices. Like, what? It's like, yes, you're out. Like, what's shocking about this at this point? Like, you're out. You know, you're not making it at home. Yes, they're gonna be expensive. So you're gonna be paying anywhere close to $10 for a beer. Like, what? That's what is shocking at this point.
Yep. Even small dive bars are now $7-8 for a drink, and you just go with the time, and you understand you're going out as a person. Yes, you can go buy a bottle for a fraction of the price.
This is I'm gonna go on a rant because everybody I think should hear this before they go out and order a beer at a restaurant. This is my pet peeve with okay, make sure that it's not too close. It'll interfere. Sorry. Here's my pet peeve with being a bartender. This is I hate this. I would you instantly were on my shit list if you did this. What kind of beers you guys got on bottle? We got Coors Light, Bud Light, Sierra Nevada. We've got Heineken. We've got Corona Light. We've got Miller Light. We've got Sam Adams Lager. You go down the list and they go, I'll take a Coors. It's like, motherfucker, everybody's got Coors. You know, like, why did I have to go off that?
True, Coors Light. Not very many people got Banquet.
Well, you know what? Yeah, you know what I mean.
I would have to say my pet peeve would be, hey, bro, what up? I need a beer and a shot. That's cool. What kind of beer and a shot? Beer and a shot, man. Hurry up.
Got it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get you top shelf then.
Yeah. All right.
Don't be shocked when I reach for that shelf up there.
Give me a Strong Island. Shut up.
That was so. What I would do to combat that is, as soon as they go, "What kind of beer you got?" Well, what do you drink? Do you drink light or dark? Boom! Instantly divided it. Whatever their answer was, or even if it was like, well, I drink the medium. Okay, we got Sam Adams. We've got, you know what I mean? Like,
that's
it just.
Because you understand the worth of your time.
Yes, that's weird. That's a weird concept. I mean, no, I was over it. You dig it. I like people that dig it and get into it. It was hard for me. I had to turn it off and turn it on.
I'm a lifer. I'm 100%. Everybody asks me, well, would you choose any other industry? No. I might change positions in the industry, but always going to be the same industry.
So you were packed though. You didn't just go to Thailand. Where else did you go?
So in the last 3 years, I want to say, from 2017 to a little bit ago, I've been to 16 countries and 28 states.
Wow. Damn.
Yeah. So
You just kind of toured, huh?
Yeah, I went. I always said I was a nomadic bartender. If I understood at least one new cocktail or technique, that trip was worth it to me. I would always try to get a spot that I can bartend or guest appear at, so on and so forth. But so I went the first year. I did a tour of the South from Kentucky, Alabama. So Kentucky, Alabama, Tennessee.
What was the spirit of choice in the South?
Whatever. So I would do some research and finding what their cocktail would be, blah blah blah, and understand what that state was known for, and then that's what I would choose, and then I would try their state cocktail at a lot of different places. For me, my favorite was New Orleans. One, because it's a Sazerac, and it's one of my favorite cocktails.
Okay.
But you have to be careful drinking a shit ton of Sazeracs during Mardi Gras.
New Orleans is rough.
So besides the fact that
beautiful,
it's
but
nasty and smells like a sewer or a swamp, because it is pretty much a swamp. One of my favorites, that's
Party City.
Yeah, but it was a tie between Nashville and New Orleans. Completely different demographics and vibes, but those were probably my two favorite cities in the South.
Do you know that Channing Tatum has a bar in New Orleans?
I did not.
Yeah.
Is it Magic Mike's?
No, I think it's just something real low key.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I really do. I think it's just. Well, I'll look it up, but I do know he owns a bar right in Bourbon Street or something like that. Yeah.
This last trip I did right when the first string of COVID started decreasing and all the riots happened. I actually took a train to Chicago, and from Chicago down to New Orleans. I actually had to skip New Orleans because the hurricane was hitting. So I went back to Nashville.
Okay.
And flew back home.
Nice.
I was really sad that I missed New Orleans.
I don't know if you can smell it, but I have a little bit of a surprise for you out in the smoker out there. You eat red meat, right?
I do.
Okay, cool. I don't eat a lot of red meat, but this is like a family secret little special recipe.
All right.
It's my grandmother's.
Is it jerky? Is it
It's okay, so it's a teriyaki. I always call it Flo's teriyaki because my grandmother's name was Floretta.
Okay.
Everybody called her Flo. So we did it a lot on Sunday game days on like football day, and it was just it's like a chuck roast, and we marinate it overnight.
All right.
And then my twist is I smoke it. Typically they grill it, and we used to take it to like football games. We'll grill it on the parking lot when we tailgate.
Okay.
So it's but it's like sentimental to me, and I haven't been able to cook for you, and I know we've gone back and forth.
Absolutely.
And, talked about it, but we never get like some good one-on-one time. We're always in passing.
In the last, I've known you for probably 8 years or so, 8 years.
Yeah, it's been a while.
But I opened up Tap House in 2013. I want to say Gabby was one of my first.
Yeah, she was. Her and Kayla were.
First night, yeah.
Her and Kayla were.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's. Can we talk about it? Is it sore? Is it a sore subject?
No, not at all. Every now and then it's tender, but no, I'm absolutely willing to talk about it.
Yeah, because I just have a few questions.
I'm gonna plead the fifth. But go on.
You had some killer pizza.
Yes, thank you.
It's one of the reasons I wore this shirt. It was for you today.
I appreciate it.
But you had some killer pizza. You sold it?
Yes,
okay.
Out of necessity.
Okay, so you could go back. I'm just curious. I want to hear it. If you could go back, what would you do differently? Would you want it? Would you want to keep it? Let's start there.
Yes. So this is what I will say. With that situation, I want to do a thing differently because it put me in the position where I'm at today and understanding of what I need to do to achieve success, I should say. Or understanding the business of having an establishment, because that was mine and Chris's very first business. And I've had several businesses, but never an established location.
Brick and mortar. Yeah.
That shit is a headache.
It's a marriage.
It is. It absolutely is. Would I do anything different with that? No. Will I do anything different in the future if I ever open another one? Yes. And not much. The business itself was very sustainable and well off. The childish mistakes and young business
like what
that we'd made,
like if somebody's owning a business, if somebody were listening right now or running it, what's your advice?
You are not if you don't understand everything that's happening from numbers to marketing to demographics, it is not your business.
Mm-hmm.
That was one thing that I had a hard time grasping because I am not the best at things. My weakest points, and understanding your weaknesses and strengths is probably the first step that you need to do to become successful. Because you don't need to necessarily understand, but you better have the best people on your team doing what you can't. I will say I don't want to really get into names or anything.
No,
make sure that the people on your team you can trust, and make sure the people you hire to do jobs do their jobs.
I remember a little bit about what you're talking about, and that's unfortunate.
It was definitely a lesson for Chris and I both. And funny enough, a lot of people always ask, "Oh, you still?" We don't talk as much, just due to the fact that life has happened.
Mm-hmm.
But still, one of my closest friends. Talk to him. I try to talk to him as much as possible.
That's rough. That's hard because it's. I told my kids I caught them doing something. They were quick at it. I'm like, this is not the first time you've done it.
Yeah,
it's just the first time you've been caught.
Yeah, and that's what happens. And it's funny because when you hire, not even staff, to run a functioning business, you need to make sure you have to have accountants, lawyers, so on and so forth, to make sure that your ass is covered. Well, if you slip up and or you can do all of that.
Do you think? No, I'm just asking. I don't mean to. I'm just asking from a business, perspective, and
Shit, I got
and
in trouble
from
for-
the culinary perspective. Do you think had you reduced your menu a bit, you could have saved a lot?
No.
No.
Yes, I'm sure we could have, but that wasn't the reason.
No.
When we actually sold,
I was shocked at how much shit you had on.
We were in process of generating close to $700,000 in revenue that year. Now, but we personally, due to young business mistakes, we were in the red. And then with do you remember the construction? When they did the construction on Highland
Yep,
Lane?
I do. Yeah, and it blocked off your parking lot
That was
for a while.
the final straw that bent us. That was the straw that broke.
Could you imagine what businesses are going through right now?
Oh yeah, so we dipped 56%.
Just because of road construction.
Yes, and
wow,
we were in. We had a.
Could you imagine doing it right now?
Yeah, I can actually, and I think it'd be awesome. I think.
No, I mean now.
Oh yeah.
COVID?
Yeah.
You just deliveries?
Yeah, I think we would have been fine, because at this point, if I'm going off of the structured business plan that we had, we would have had but I think we would have been all right.
I think your location was perfect for a few years or a year or two from now.
So we chose that location due to what
was
is
building
now,
yes.
what is there now. We might have, like I said, it was more young business mistakes, not understanding how taxes work, IRS, and learning things like that. So we were in, and I can talk about it now. We were in, we owed IRS and a few other companies, Alphabet Boys some money. So we were in plans of actually paying it. We created a full-on payment plan. Everything was in process. Well, when you take an agreement and you go delinquent because of a few different mistakes or 56% dip. So the way it worked is I remember the whole month leading up to it. So the construction happened, which we were prepared for the construction on Harney, not on Hutchins. And when they turned down Hutchins, because I showed up to all the meetings.
Right.
To find out what was happening.
Yeah.
And when they did Hutchins, it fucking went this shit because they blocked both intersections. So when I struck the agreement with the IRS, there was miscommunication from person A to person B. Well, person B sees my account because person A didn't tell them. So when that happened, I was calling and I was like, hey, what's going on? We just scheduled an agreement. We have this payment plans brought in. They're like, oh, I didn't know. I said, cool, can you put this back in? Because, and they're like, yeah, 7 to 15 business days, blah, blah. I said, can I charge you interest? The fuck?
Jeez.
With that being said, we did get our money back, but we accumulated more loss due to the interest.
Those days, yeah.
All the checks that bounced.
Yeah.
So I think it was pay month, and I want to say we had about 32 checks bounce. From vendors to staff. And we were able to talk with the staff and explain to them, hey, this is what's happening.
Right.
But our fees alone on the checks were almost $4,000. That couldn't waive.
It's not fun stuff. It's not fun. It's like I said, it's marriage, man.
Oh yeah, 100%. And then when you took that loss of revenue from what you're expecting.
Well, and restaurants work on razor thin, razor thin margins.
Yep.
I mean that's you're when you're taking just tiny steps at a time to accumulate a profit.
Yeah.
You take one hit and it's like knockout.
And so for anyone else, and this is how we sold it in such a quick time. We talked with our staff, and we sold it, and we explained to them, for anyone else, if you follow this recipe, you'll be solid. It's running perfectly fine the way it is. We can't afford it.
Right.
And I'm sure, and I remember talking to our advisors, and we were sitting there, and he goes, yeah, there's no doubt in my brain that you guys can get out of it. You guys are doing things that I didn't think you could do and that you're achieving. but you're gonna go into debt for about $300,000. What the fuck? And we talked it over. Took a few days to understand. We had a staff meeting, and that was probably one of the hardest decisions we had to make and explain to our staff what was happening. And we didn't get into detail with them. This is the first time I've actually really talked about it.
Yeah, I was just curious. Because I've always wanted to just kind of sit down with you and kind of business owner.
Yeah, I would say, to answer your question that you asked me earlier, what kind of advice I would give to people that want to open their business? Understand it is not overnight. Understand that you are going to spend 80 hours a week on it.
Oh, yeah. But that's the trade-off, is to own your own business. Mm-hmm. Like, you are everything.
Yep.
That is, Gabby and I get into it often where she's like, you're doing so much. It's like, you know, like, I can't stop. The moment I stop to go to the store or do something, you know what I mean? Like, everything shuts down.
Yep.
Every production, everything, like, it all shuts down.
Yeah.
And until you get bigger and bigger. And
yeah, you have people do the little things that you don't want to do anymore.
Part of the reason. So one of the bars, how did you like running the bar that you did at Blend? How did you like, because you weren't so much behind the bar as much as you were on the floor.
Oh, Blend, man, that's my home. I would love being there. I love the staff. I love the team, the owners. They took me in. Mike actually, right after Tap House sold, and like I said, it sold out of necessity, so it wasn't really, it was the best choice to make, not necessarily my choice to make, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I know, I get it.
So he reached out, made sure I was good. It was different. I wasn't used to nightclub. I'm more of a dive bar, bartender, mixologist kind of guy. I love bringing culinary aspects to my cocktails. But being a part of Blend was fucking fantastic. I loved it. What was your question again?
Mine was just, how'd you like the floor versus behind the bar?
I think, how can I say this? Floor versus the bar. No comparison. Always the bar.
Yeah.
The floor made sense because that was the best move for the business, which I can respect and understand that. And honestly, I do love the floor in a whole separate transaction because you're the mood director.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't my passion, but I've found a love for it. You get to throw the party like Van Wilder yeah, that's exactly the mindset you gotta have. You create the atmosphere. You get to make sure people have fun. If you're in a shitty mood, the floor's on a shitty mood.
Right.
But I gave me a different type of view.
Yeah.
But
perspective. Yeah.
Yeah, perspective on the industry.
I want to talk to you about, I'm going to go get this, speaking of culinary, I'm going to go get these things out the smoker real quick, and we're going to munch. Okay. So I'm serving this to you exactly how we used to eat it, too. Like football games in a little rice bowl. The lid, it's just a little, it's totally COVID safe finger food.
All right,
but it just came out of the smoker, so you just.
It smells delicious.
Pick it. I'm going to take this piece. Probably hot. Shit. And just eat it.
Oh. That's delicious.
Right? So we would just do these, right? Marinate this overnight. We'd grill them, but I smoke it. And then game day. You remember Javi?
Yeah.
Yeah, Javi and Nancy came up and we watched the game, Niners versus Bengals.
Oh, awesome.
And we did these, and they were just like, it's like jerky, but it's tender.
Way better. So
my grandma's recipe.
This reminds me. So I'm gonna try to take a little bit of this for a friend of mine. She's South African, and their version of jerky is called bulton.
Bolton?
Yeah, and it's very similar to this, just a lot more drier.
Okay.
And she can't stand American jerky.
Yeah.
Because there's a film on it.
Mm-hmm.
This is delicious.
Dude, thank you. I thank my grandma.
I want to try it grilled, too.
It's good. Just without that depth of smoke.
Yeah.
This
is fucking amazing.
Thanks.
And I'm not just saying this. I know you guys can't see me. But I keep reaching into this little rice bowl. and eating quite a bit of this. And what is it called?
I just call it Flo's Teriyaki.
Okay.
But it's her little teriyaki recipe, and I just marinate it overnight. But that's the secret: is you just gotta slice it up and marinate it overnight.
No, I got a chili piece.
So okay, so blend. I'm filming for you guys, and I have to be careful too because I signed an NDA about talking about this. I'm gonna give you the full story because we didn't get to talk about this.
We talked about going into it.
Yeah, so I was hired to film a commercial for his business. He owed me a deposit, never paid it. Signed the contract, never paid any parts of it, never stood up to it. I filmed it, I edited it, I gave them 7 or 8 different revisions, and they totally stopped, ghosted me, like a child. Completely ghosted me, would not respond to me, everything. I was like, I'm going to take this dude to court then. This was my first time ever having to take a client to court over due to non-payment. And he wasn't answering me. So I gave him his final letter, demand letter. Here it is. This is my last civil attempt before we go to court, blah, blah. Doesn't answer. I'm filming for Blend.
So I remember us meeting at Starbucks and talking about coming to work and helping us film. And so you're telling me this story and blah, and I'm laughing about this story because it was just a wild story, right?
Right.
It was something that shouldn't be done in business. Now, fast forwarding to you actually filming with me at Blend, doing some video. Then,
yeah.
When you came up to me, you're like, "Hey, you remember that story?"
Yeah.
That's the dude.
Yep. So, dude walks in. First time we've seen each other since my last film date, and he walks up to me because he knows that I'm standing near the exit, and he knows that that's the only way in and out. And he's like, "Hey," he goes to shake my hand, blah, blah. All that shit goes down. I'm just like, I'm not shaking your hand. I wouldn't shake his hand because I only shake people's hands I respect. And he tries to give me some bullshit excuse about I never sent them an invoice, and I have a software that tells me not only when the invoice is successfully sent, but also read. So I called him out on that. He didn't like it. Blah, blah, blah. That gave me the incentive to go down to the courthouse. I was like, I have to do this anyways. Filed, got a phone call from a court TV show.
Tell me it's Jerry Springer.
I can't tell you which one it is. No, it's a court TV show.
Yeah.
A very, very popular court TV show.
So Jerry Springer now has a court TV show.
It's one of the founding.
No, that's fair, but
founding mothers of court TV shows. One of her things picked it up, and they gave me a call and they're like, "Hey, your public record. We do this. We'll fly you out to LA. You come down to Hollywood. You have your court here. We have the hearing here. The incentive for him is it gets off the books, so it doesn't go against his business." And for you don't have to wait until April of this year. I would have had to wait till April, like it would have even happened, and to have your court hearing, and then you don't have to wait forever for your payment. Yeah. We take responsibility. We'll pay you, and we go after him, whatever the finding is. So I'm like, I'm for it if he's for it. I don't know why he would be for it. He was all for it. I get there, and I'm like, I don't know what this guy's even gonna say. I have emails back and forth, and we get there. The people working there, the staff, they were like, "You're gonna love your counterpartner." I was like, "Why?" They're like, "Everybody here fucking hates him. He's just a piece of shit." Everybody was there, literally coming up to me in my dressing room, just telling me, they're like, "We've tried talking to him. We have tried explaining to him he's not supposed to bring on these certain types of clothing," and he did. He was beating a complete, I guess, douche. And we end up going in front of the judges. The judges just crucify him. 4 times the amount that our contract is what I was awarded. Okay. They all one of the judges literally goes, because there was multiple judges. One of the judges goes, "There's something wrong with you," to him. Literally, if you watch it, if you ever see it on TV, they nail this dude. I barely had to do anything. And he tried to say, that wasn't his signature on the contract. So I give them proof of the emails, and they're reading it. They go, well, here's an email from your assistant saying, here's your return signed contract. And, I mean, constant communication of right before them ghosting me.
Yeah.
And then just cut off. And they were like, you're a poor businessman. They were just calling him out. And one of the judges even laughed. She goes, how about this? I will order something from you. You'll build it, have it delivered, and I'll just pay you whenever I feel like it. Anyways. So that's basically what came down to it. I know you know the dude, but...
Yeah. Just so you know, he is on my Facebook.
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't care.
No, fair enough, but you said there's...
We're done. It's over.
Blah, blah, blah.
No, it's over.
Oh, okay.
And I haven't said any names, and I didn't say any which show.
Enough.
I didn't say the amount I was awarded. So.
Yeah, fair enough. It sucked that happened because, one, and like I told him that day, and it was funny, that was the first time I've actually really got to meet him. And like I told him that day was, it doesn't matter. He's here working with me.
Yeah.
And you're a guest. Point blank, period. A co-worker is uncomfortable.
What was it? He was just getting, on it. I'm like,
I spoke with you about it. You're like, I'm good. Like, let me finish this up. You were really professional about it, so I was like, cool.
Well, dude's a dick. Dude, I mean, there's no doubt about it. I mean, it wasn't just me that saw it.
Yeah, fair enough. No, and like I said, you were like, no, I mean, don't worry about it. I said, okay, you sure? I was really surprised you said that. I was like, cool. But yeah, personally, he's never came out of pocket towards me. But that's irrelevant. You have proof, and it. you got the pudding and the cake.
Well, I guess. I mean, I hated that it had to come to that.
Yeah.
Because here's what sucks. They played my commercial during the case, and they were like, "That's a really nice commercial." They're like, "It makes me want to inquire about your business. It makes me want to."
Oh, awesome.
And I can't use it.
Oh, that commercial. Why not?
It's his footage. It's his store. His property. I don't want to use it. I don't even want to go into it.
Yeah, that's fair. Why don't you...
I could make a sample video of stuff that I can do, but I can't use any footage that I obtained.
Is that the only commercial that you have?
Of his?
No, just in general.
Oh, no. I have plenty of others. Oh. But it shows a different genre. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's another thing that you can go, hey, we do this.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But and it just sucks that it had to come down to that. It really did. Swear to God, I mean, and you ask Gabby, the moment I met him, I did say there's something off about him. There's something I don't like. And I knew I should have demanded the deposit before any continuing work. And I was just going off of what sucks is he was a friend of a friend. Fair. Well, he reached out to me to film his commercial because he saw me do a video of a mutual friend.
Okay.
And he was like, "Hey, do you do commercials?" And I said, "Yeah, absolutely." So it wasn't like I hunted him down either.
Yeah, fair enough.
Anyways,
you never not listen to your gut.
Wild.
Okay. This Flo's teriyaki is delicious.
No, I love it, man. I'm glad I got to do it for you. I was pretty excited. I don't get to share this with many people. In fact, you're probably amongst the handful of group outside of family that has had this.
I feel like this should be done at every show.
Well, we're doing. We're eating a lot healthier.
Okay.
And I was also making this to dice it up to put in my rice bowls.
Well, that makes sense.
And just give it a little veggies and sauce.
Yeah, I'm trying not to completely...
No, go for it.
No,
go for it.
I'm trying to eat healthier too, and it's not part of my plan, my today's diet plan. Yeah. The hardest thing was getting done with my work. I've been trying to stay consistent. The working out is the easy part.
The eating's the hard. Yeah, it is.
Especially with our lifestyle of trying to develop and become successful in whatever path we choose. It's
convenience is what's hard. Mm-hmm. The easy part for me, and I'm actually, Gabby hates me for this, I'm extremely disciplined when I want to be. And when I'm on some stuff, like I'll cut it out. No problem. There's never been a vice that I've had that I can't cut out. I don't think I even have like an addiction to any type of substance, even if it's food or anything. I can just drop it like nothing else.
Oh, awesome.
So, but how I do it is like I have a massive sweet tooth. It's a real issue, and I love like chocolate or candy at night.
Okay.
So what I did was I bought a box of granola bars that have the chocolate layer around them. So you're eating granola bars, but the chocolate actually satisfies that craving.
Yeah, that's fair.
And it teaches it. If I treat it like candy, my brain thinks it's candy.
Yeah, it triggers.
And then I'm good.
That's awesome.
Same thing with like eating healthier. I do rice bowls. There's nothing wrong with adding a little bit of sauce to brown rice and chicken. You know what I mean? You're gonna get some bad calories, but the majority of it isn't a burrito supreme from Taco Bell, and it's not a Big Mac. You know, so when I start thinking, oh, we should just stop and get something, I now start thinking about how I'm gonna feel after I eat it.
Yeah.
I really do. I go, right now I don't feel bloated, gross, nasty, or anything, but I know if
real thing too.
Yep. If I know if I eat it, I'm gonna feel gross and like I shouldn't have done that.
So recently, I just went to Mexico. About a month, beginning of this. What month are we? August. So the end of June.
We're in the month of COVID.
Yeah, I think the month of COVID has been stretched for almost 5 months now, going into 6. So the end of June, I went to Mexico, and I try to work out and stuff, and still eat a little healthier, but there's copious amounts of tequila
and fried food.
You know, for the most part, it was tacos and tequila.
But they cook a lot of fat. They cook a lot of things in fat.
So when I got back home and got back to my diet, my God, I was messed up for a week. It was horrid.
That's my problem right now. Is I cut everything out, and I'm in that transitioning period where your gut's going, ugh, you know, like just shifting to absorbing healthier shit.
Yeah, that's a good thing. Good and bad. Yeah, I have a sweet tooth too, but I haven't found a substitute yet.
You like chocolate or you like gummies? Gummies. I'll get the kids' little gummy snacks, but the healthier ones.
Yeah.
Just to get that going. Yeah. Kind of like tricky. Yeah, it's just tricking. The kids are doing it too, and I said, you want chocolate? We'll get chocolate covered raisins. Yeah. Think of it as chocolate covered gummies.
It's life hacks.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, if you're dedicated enough and you want to change, find ways to satisfy the things that you're craving. Because that's the biggest issue is everybody wants, I just want one potato chip. You can have a potato chip. Get kettle chips. Yeah. You know, and then monitor it.
Point blank period.
Yeah.
And they got the chickpea puffs now that are made out of, it's like popcorn chips. It's weird. They're
eat Cheez-Its.
Yeah.
Eat whatever. Like if you want chips, try. I know it sounds weird, but just try Ritz crackers. Because of the saltiness in that, it actually does like a little trick.
So I'm actually a big fan of fruit chips.
Okay.
Like
some, I like some.
I'm more of the apple one is the one I can do, and it actually craves that.
Yeah. I like apple chips. I don't like banana chips. I'm not a big banana chip person. But anyway. So let's talk about you were like, I got you on here because all your events are canceled.
Yes.
How did that go?
You know, they got postponed. I shouldn't say canceled, but definitely opened up my year. It's shitty.
Do you do deposits?
Yes.
Okay.
And I offered so a lot of my clients are repeat clients.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't mind. I offered a lot of them to take back. People that I take now, I let them know. If anybody that I got coming up, I let them know, hey, think about it before, because once I start it, the deposit is non-refundable.
Right.
The people that I have, I will stay true to the dates that we have, and we'll postpone them until next year. It's not that bad. I'm like a boutique business when it comes to events. I'm very lucky to select and pick who I want to work with, and who is willing to work with me. But the hardest part is finding things to replace this time. Financially it sucks, but luckily I was able to pivot. I'm going to start the classes. I'm working on the cocktails and so on and so forth. But the hardest part is replacing the time with positive things, creating good traits from all this. Because if that does not happen, what's going to happen is bad traits. Bad habits. I like bad habits.
Yeah, some people. I was in a position where I actually had to keep a deposit. I returned 2 others' deposits, but this is where morally it's hard, but it's also like, so here's the situation. Sorry. I was hired for a wedding.
Okay.
COVID happened, and the winery got shut down, so they postponed. They moved their date to, let's say, I think it was August 18th. So let's just say August 18th. They moved it to it was August 18th. And I got a phone call in between that time frame from another bride who had her COVID wedding shut down, and the photographer and videographer backed out. She was looking for somebody, and she wanted to hire me for August 18th. Well,
okay.
I'm booked. That's part of the deposit. That's part of the contract, is when you pay your deposit, we are off the calendar.
Yeah.
Unless we have 2 units, but we are off the calendar. Ice maker. We are off the calendar to take any other gigs. We're 100% yours. And then the final remaining payment is due within 2 weeks of the date. So she moved her date. I declined the lady that wanted her date, wanted the August 18th, because I said, we're already off the calendar. We have a wedding that day. I'm so sorry. A couple weeks later, I get a phone call, or not a phone call, an email from the initial bride, whose winery got shut down, letting me know that her and her fiance decided to get married last week, and that they no longer need my services, and we're hoping for a full refund.
Yeah, I know.
That's where I had the issue, and I consulted a few other vendors that were dealing with the same thing, and I said, had we just canceled in the first place, I probably would have given them a full refund. However, if I run my business that way and I keep getting caught up in this situation where I'm turning down and then I'm giving back money, I won't be in business for very much longer.
Yeah, makes sense.
So
They chose to have it on a different date and not include you in it.
Well, not only that, but they let me know a week after that it
had
already happened, let alone a week prior, or anything. So there were so many times that it probably could have been saved, but had they just put me on the back burner and I turned down business, I had to keep the deposit but return the final payment. And I did. So what I did was I said, I really feel bad doing this. However, I told them briefly the situation. I just summed it up. I said, because we turned down business on that date that you booked, we unfortunately have to keep the deposit. However, I don't want you to walk away with nothing. So what I would like to do is film you and your fiance maybe on a hike or doing things that you like to do photos and maybe an interview, cool. and I'll put together a little photo video package for you both, so that you have something about your love. And they loved it. And I was like, as soon as they loved it, I honestly, my eyes watered when I was reading the email, because I was like, thank God, because I don't want to do bad business. I don't want to do bad business, but I also want to stay in business, makes
sense.
So when they were happy with that, it made me happy. I'm like, perfect. I'm happy with keeping the deposit due to the circumstances and what I can give you at least.
Yeah.
Because I know, being in their shoes, I would look at it like, well, we just spent this X amount of money for nothing. And we got nothing.
Yeah.
And I didn't want them to do that.
Yeah, because then, like you said, then there'd be a comment. This house is haunted.
It is, dude. Don't start. Don't start, Gabby. We hear stuff.
You're absolutely right.
Gabby's haunted. She's haunted. There is something that follows her. I'm not kidding.
I believe that too, actually.
There's something that follows her, and I didn't believe it at first, and I have learned to believe it. Anyways, yeah. So it's a weird time. It was a weird handling of the situation. But
it seemed like you handled it well, though.
Yeah, it was a good outcome.
I'm sure we could Google and Yelp a few situations very similar to that. And
I want you to listen to this very closely. I'm filming tomorrow, a wedding tomorrow.
Okay.
And so I filmed a wedding a couple weeks ago at a country club. And the wedding that I'm filming tomorrow was supposed to be at the same country club that I filmed a couple weeks ago. But because they had so many people in their pool watching the wedding and that complained about there being a wedding during COVID, this wedding tomorrow got canceled from the country club. And I don't want you to say that, or at least play that in your head out loud. There were so many people swimming in the pool that complained about a small wedding.
Do they have waterproof masks yet?
I have footage of it. Everybody's pressed up against the fence in the pool area watching the wedding.
Oh, that's so awesome.
All together. So I can swim amongst people's bodily fluids.
So
and
there's a couple hotels that I was at. So I've been traveling during this COVID situation, and it's weird. For the most part, it's pretty simple, but it's every now and then you catch the strict people, and I'm like, yeah, all right, calm the fuck down. But at a few hotels that I've been at, they schedule time. So like I work out at hotels, and all right, cool, you got from 10 to 12. What? That's awesome. Well, can I use a spa pool? You got it from 12 to 2. That's awesome. And anybody in your group is allowed to be in there.
Mm-hmm.
So was that the situation?
No,
Excuse me.
no, they're swimming all day. That pool area is packed all
just
day.
In and out.
Yep, the country and to now, right now, it's still open. The weddings got canceled. Everything else, all the amenities,
weird to me.
Everything's weird.
I get buffets. I get certain things.
My buddy Jason came on, who also lives in town and has a business in town.
Okay.
And who tints and does audio, and PD told him that they can only do certain things because it's not that are essential, like electrical and lighting. And he goes, okay, I want you to go down to Walmart and shut down all the sales of anything that's not essential. Because if you're telling me, who's working with a vehicle, I mean, what is going on, man? Like, what the fuck?
You know, and it sucks too because everybody's just trying to do their job, and you know, like you said, your buddy's probably pissed at the cop for coming, and he's just following orders.
Well, there's cops quitting.
Oh yeah,
because
and it's fucked up. So I was just reading. Where was it? There was a state that is now a felony, and it's something wild if you harass any first responder.
Illinois.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool.
That's pretty wild for Illinois. They're pretty.
Yeah.
Shit's getting crazy though.
It's
because you have to look at it this way. A lot of officers right now are looking at their salary and looking at an HVAC salary, truck driver's salary, going, no, they don't get shot at.
Huh?
Not for just wearing a uniform.
It's fucking crazy.
So, was it New York is almost quadruple the retirement amount right now?
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. In the state of New York, they're almost quadrupled the retirement amount that they are typically doing every year.
Oh, shit. That's fucking insane.
So, shit's going crazy. Oh, you know what I started doing? I have that Deadpool mask right there in my cubby.
I've seen a or a picture of it on Facebook.
That's how I go shopping now.
Yeah.
I'm like, you're gonna make me wear a mask. I might as well make it fun.
Yeah, that's awesome. Are your kids gonna start dressing up as?
We already did.
Oh, that's awesome.
Spider-Man. Yeah, we've already got masks coming in.
Yeah, and that's a whole different thing, man. Like going into banks with masks and stores, and you are eliminated facial recognition, and that fucking terrifies me.
It's a time to be a bank robber.
So I grew up in a liquor store. I don't know if you know that about me.
Yeah, so you guys had that little place out in Campa, right?
Still in the family, still doing well. Been in the family for going on 45 years now. So I was raised in a sense, on a corner. And anybody that had a mask is a bad thing.
Yeah.
People that come in with helmets or hoodies, and you're skeptical because corner store, it's part of the territory.
Right.
And it's hard accepting that masks are now
normal.
Yeah. Like, the fuck? Like, even when I walk into the bank, I'll have it off and I'll walk in and I'll make sure people see me first and then I put it back on.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and when this first started, like a couple of weeks after COVID happened, maybe a couple of days, I was at my bank. I was in line, just hanging out, waiting for the girl to come up, and a guy walks up and slides this lady a note. Has a mask on, full thing, and you can see the fear of God in the teller's face. And she hasn't got the note yet. It's just the initial, here you go.
Right.
Well, and I'm looking, and I'm like, well, shit.
What's about to go down?
Yeah, do I get on my knees? Do I attack this guy? And it's an older gentleman, so I'm like, something's not right. Like, if it is, like, man, like...
Is he just hard of hearing or something? Or?
That's exactly what it was. And I'm looking at this guy like, yo, if you actually need help, I'll help you. Like, you're an old dude. Like, don't rob the place.
Yeah, no kidding. It is a wild time. I couldn't imagine what it'd be like. It's I don't even know what to say about it. Now it's apparently a political statement. If you refuse to wear a mask, apparently you're a Republican.
Oh.
I got my hair cut yesterday, and the lady said that she was sitting there cutting somebody's hair, had a guy sitting there, and sat there the whole time without a mask. And then it was his turn, and then he just reamed her for not wearing a mask while not wearing a mask. And then I guess somebody said, well, I don't need to wear a mask here. And they said, oh, well, you must be Republican. That's what I mean. Like, everybody's labeling everybody.
Well, that's a whole different conversation we can get into.
What, the Republican thing?
Well, what's happening and why segregation.
I understand why, because it's mostly Republicans that are saying this is COVID shit is bullshit, and they're saying it's bullshit. We're all being fed it. It's that little mini civil war of it.
COVID's a legit virus.
It's a legit virus. I don't think it's
the repercussion of what's happening. I can't really follow behind.
My issue is, if you're skewing the numbers, and we're all going off of the numbers, that's got to be fixed. You cannot test somebody 3 or 4 times and then report those 3 or 4 tests. You cannot have somebody die in a motorcycle accident
that had signs of COVID.
And then listed as COVID, and then have the family get upset and petition to basically sue them if they don't change it to the correct amount for it to finally be changed. So if that is happening, how much of it is truly happening? Because the more COVID...
We will never know.
Well, I think we'll know. I think it's going to come out in the next couple of years. I think it's going to come out how much of this shit was blown up.
I think there's a bigger picture, but I will say the virus is legit, and the virus does affect people. It is also evolution. And from the beginning of times, evolution, something comes, we don't, like, I don't want to get into a whole thing of it, but evolution is the simple fact of, if you look 100 years ago at the population to now, we have quadruple in population.
Mm-hmm. Oh, no, I get that, yeah.
And just like any...
We're overgrown. We're overpopulated. Hands
that's all that's really happening.
I mean, chances are, I don't even know if we're going to be in California for much longer.
I don't blame you. I got maybe a 3-year plan happening.
Yeah, I think we've got a backup plan just in case, because the policies are hard to keep up with. Everything's too hard to keep up with, and this is exposing a lot. And I'm talking with a lot of people in other states that are going, we don't have those policies, we don't have those issues, and we don't, you know what I mean? We don't put up with that crap.
So this is what I'll say. Like, it's all around the world, right?
Oh yes.
I want to say it's California is fucking holy shit. Like you said, the policies and the strict guidelines is every state has their own stipulations and guidelines. Every country, most countries and states are up and running.
Mm-hmm.
For the most part, give or take a few. I don't think New York's up and running yet.
But if we're talking state to state, when you look at your state going, releasing prisoners, and I mean this legitimately, and I understand there's circumstances. I'm not generalizing. But if you're going to release prisoners because of COVID, why would you arrest business owners because of COVID?
I'm giggling right now because I don't have a
logical
reason.
answer.
Yeah, I don't have a logical answer for that.
Yeah, neither does our government, our state-to-state government.
That is not a logical. There is no logical answer for that.
I really want to know the answer to that. Like, if you had a brick and mortar right now and you tried opening up, you're facing imprisonment. But if you're a sex offender or somebody in prison, you're facing release. Say that again?
I'm sort of glad I'm not being filmed right now. Actually, I might be.
You are being filmed. I mean, legitimately, and this is our lives. This is what we deal with. I think it's funny because, say you have sanctuary cities that fought for the ability to not tell people what to do, not tell people how to live and everything like that. But the moment COVID happens, they all want to tell everybody to wear masks.
I think if people sort of worried about their business and not so much about everything else that's happening, I think we'd be all right. You know, you and I can sit here and talk about, literally talk for hours about random shit.
Mm-hmm.
But most people can't talk for 10 minutes about anything without being yelled at or
combative.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's not my position or job to tell you who to vote for, what to believe in, what you should be doing, if you should or shouldn't wear a mask. If that's what makes you happy, do it. Mm-hmm. Don't push it and don't yell and don't.
If you're not hurting somebody else, what do I care? Like, what do I care? If you're not hurting anybody else, like, I don't care. When you start hurting somebody else, then I care.
I will say one thing that came out of this that I might stay with. Still stay 6 feet away from me, please.
Yeah?
Just
yeah,
in general.
Yeah, just in general. What was it? I saw one that said, if you're wearing a mask while driving, please just stay home, even after all of this. Just stay home.
So it's funny. So, like, some places, I'll have the mask on and I forget it's on.
Yeah.
Because I'll normally keep it on, like, my chin or just beneath it. Just because it's uncomfortable for me. It's crazy because we all complain about having our face covered. And my sisters have their whole
They've had to do it their whole lives. That's right. I remember Gabby saying something. She had to cut their hair.
Yeah.
That she would be the only one allowed in or something.
And so how that goes is, it's purity in a sense. Have you ever seen a picture of the Virgin Mary with her hair showing?
No.
So it's supposed to be a purity thing of the people that in your life that you love are only allowed to see it. Husband, family, sisters, but every woman can look at you. And it sort of does make sense to me because we're a bunch of perverts. As a human race,
yes.
We're a bunch of perverts.
Yes.
If I see nice hair, ooh, hey, what up, girl? If I see pretty eyes or a smile, like, I get attracted to things like that, and it sort of makes sense. And mind you, that's things that have been going on for generations. And there are some people that are a little too extreme about shit.
So in the Arabic culture, is it culture or is it religion?
Religion.
So it's a religious thing to have the face covered.
So no, that's more of a that's a personal culture thing. The only thing that needs to be covered is the hair.
Oh.
So the hair is what's that's the first impure thing, the thought that creates to men or to man, supposedly. And which sort of makes sense because when you see it, you start from the top and you go down. Ooh, I like how her hair looks. From bald, long, however it works. But that's what's supposed to be covered. The rest are all personal choices.
I mean, I don't know if I should say this. I don't even know if this is bad. Tell me if this is bad, okay?
I'm
you're my friend.
The last person.
No. You tell
yeah,
you.
But I'm more than likely have the same mindset because I have debates with my family all the time about it. And go on. If I can answer it, I'll try to.
I was just gonna make an opinion statement, in that, like, I know that when I've seen the majority of Middle Eastern women, they're stunning, like fuck, like there's some that are just like, ho,
so, till this
you are gorgeous,
till this day, the most beautiful woman I have ever met was a Dominican and Lebanese girl.
It's that dark hair. It's that like lush dark hair, good complexion, and when they have those like bright eyes, holy shit, they're beautiful.
Yeah.
I always wondered, and I know this is some females might be mad about this, and so I always wondered.
All women are beautiful.
Yes, no, they are, but I always wondered if the facial covering type stuff maybe stemmed a little bit from like our women are gorgeous, like our.
I don't know. That's probably a whole different path.
I always just wondered.
I don't. So it's funny because I have met a girl that had the whole facial cover, and that's more of, I think, just jealous pricks, or because there's.
Well, that's why I wonder, because you gotta strip it down, because like you said, we're all at the heart of it animals. We're all 100%. Human, like.
And it's crazy because just because you're a certain religion, Christian, Catholic, Protestant, whatever it may, Muslim,
Jewish,
Jewish,
whatever.
And then you got these and then there's tiny little fragments that percolate from all of these different religions, and everyone has their own little thing about it and different concepts and ideas. If you're like, well, the fuck, there's 10 different views of how a religion should be ran, or how a religion. No, it's pretty simple. Point blank. Period. Every good book is almost the same for the most part.
For the most, yeah, it has a. They run parallel on their rules or guidelines. You would say to be a human being.
Yes.
And that's the good take from most religions, is it teaches you how to be a decent human being.
Yeah.
My take, I went real left outside of religion. I was raised Baptist. Okay. I went real outside when I started noticing no, that's wrong. Ours is right. Well, says who? You know how many years this stuff's been going and being filtered and being rewritten and being translated? And I guarantee you, Psalms, whatever, when it was first written, looks nothing like what you can read in the King James Bible today.
So I veered left as well, if you know me.
Oh yes.
But I was raised Muslim, and I'm very grateful because I was raised by a family that said, "Hey, if you want to know something, question it. If you understand and love something so much, you should question it."
Yes.
But they said, "Go follow your own path. Don't follow ours."
Yes.
Like
those good parents.
Yeah. Don't be a fucking piece of shit.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna have your ass.
That's the number one, right?
Yeah.
Is don't be a piece of shit. Because if you're a piece of shit, you're gonna go down a piece of shit road.
Yeah. And point blank. Period. I think. And like I said, I want to say I lean more towards Buddhism. Yes. I follow that way of a religion compared to other things. So I think I take little pieces of all of them and sort of formulate my own thoughts of what is right and what is wrong and what I should. Because I pray to somebody every day because I know I talk to. It's not just myself I'm talking to.
Right.
And I'm very blessed. So I know these things that I have in my life have been brought to me, one, because of hard work, but also because of the universe giving it to me. You know what I mean?
You know what I believe in? I believe that I don't believe everything is predestined. I believe we as individuals are almost in some way, shape, or form. We're going to get real fucking stonery with this talk. Are like, we're given pathways.
Yeah.
And it's like, you can go this way or you can go this way. But it's your choice.
Oh yeah.
It's essentially it's up to you.
Yeah.
But they're here. Blue pill, red pill.
Yeah, 100%.
It's which one do you want?
Every day.
Yes, every day we're given that.
Yeah.
And we can continue on this road, or we can stop and go back, and have to take the other road. And sometimes if you go too far down that one, it's a long way back.
Yeah, you get lost along the way. Yeah. Like, oh shit! It's just like heading to a forest. If you don't have stones or markers or understanding where you're at,
bro, I was watching that show I was telling you about, the what's it called? Night Watch.
Okay.
And they do basically the whole show is between the hours of 8 p.m. and 4 a.m.
Oh, damn, that's the real life stuff.
Yes. So they pick up this one dude's a heroin overdose, and Or no. I'm sorry. They thought it was a heroin overdose. And when they pick him up, he's actually coming off of it. He's trying to clean. He's trying to detox and go clean.
Oh, okay.
And he's just like, oh, and they were going to give him some meds in the back of the ambulance. And he looked at the needle and he goes, and he just starts crying. And he goes, no needles, no needles. Please, no needles. He's like, please. And the other EMT looks at him real calm and he goes, I got you. And he goes, no needles. He goes, no needles. He goes, it's going to make you want to use again, right? And he looks right at him. He goes, I could inject ice water. It would be the same thing. And that's that addiction, you know,
It's that feeling, that rush.
Yeah, and it was just, it is so sad. I forgot what we were talking about. It kind of led there, but.
Going down a path.
Oh, yeah. So take him, for instance. Yes. So take him, for instance. He's got a long way back because he said, they were talking about it, that it's not so much the drug as it is the prick, and that they'll get addicted to that, and that if they would have poked him with medicine, it would have sent him right back and wanting to use right away. And he was trying to, and they said they very rarely see somebody that conscious to know in the midst of semi being high, if you poke me, I'm going to use, and I don't want to use. And but that's his path back because he went too far.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's what I believe in.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, I would concur with that 100%. Point blank period. You get choices, there's consequences, and every day, no matter how far you go down a path, there's always a chance to turn back.
Oh, yeah.
But is it, sometimes for people, is that path worth it?
Yes.
To go back down all those demons.
Yes.
So I started running, like when all this happened, I started trying to get in a better shape in the beginning of the year. And I'm very glad that I started that motion because I continued it when everything went to shit. And I'm very glad because it gave me something to reach for. And me running, man.
Is it a high?
It is. It's a lot of fun, and it's almost the game for me because I'm playing them with my own demons in a sense, and it gives me a chance. Running, not exercising, lifting weights, that's good, and I do that as well. But running stimulates something about all the bullshit that's built inside. It's its own drug in a sense, and it's wild.
No, I know exactly what you're talking about.
There was a couple times where I thought it was a smart idea to take a couple puffs and go for a run. Nope. That was holy shit. I was fighting with myself. So I ended up, I was just gonna go for like a mile or 2 mile run. I ended up doing like an 8 mile run, fighting in the air and here and crying, bawling my ass off because that combination unlocked all sorts of shit I didn't deal with. And I'm very grateful, but speaking about that path back, some of that stuff that was coming up, I didn't want to deal with. And luckily it came up and I'm figuring how to deal with it still. But
yeah. Running, it's what it is it's the exertion.
Yeah.
And you find a lot out about yourself when you exert your body to a point where you're feeling like I either have to full finish or you have to. Like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts. You know, when you exert yourself, you're exerting your mind too.
Yeah.
Because you are working through shit. That's why so many people, when you go to the gym, they're happy, they're bubbly, they're poppy, because they've worked all that shit out. You know what I mean? They're constantly working that shit out. They, what's his name from American Choppers? The dad.
Oh, okay.
Big old handlebars.
Yeah.
They said that's what helped him was he started taking his anger to the gym.
Oh, awesome.
So every time he got pissed off, he'd go lift weights. And that's a good way to do it. I mean, it turns something into healthy. You know, it turns, and it helps you
even
release.
You're just channeling it. So it's like, where's that balance?
Yep. I was a dick when I'd go to the gym. I was. I got high by the tight feeling.
Okay.
That was my, like, when I go to failure and I just, when you drive back and you're just like, oh, turn the steering wheel. I loved that. Just the way I loved when the tattoo is healing.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I loved it, but yeah, I'm a dick. If anybody tries talking to me, Gabby knows she hates working out with me.
So it's funny. So I'm in a CrossFit or cross training thing now. I do as well. Just because everything, and they do it outside. They follow by the stipulation, blah blah blah. But it's in a group, and it's learning to like communicate sometimes with them and have. But I was always like, when I go work out, because I wrestled for shit, 11 years. So like that's when I go work out. That's me. That's my time. I'm not there to hang out because if I start chit chatting, I'm gonna lose my motivation.
That's your therapy session.
Yeah.
It's like going to see a therapist. You don't spend it with other people. You spend it on yourself.
And it's funny because like when I go to when the gyms were open, I'd go and I put in earbuds, not even playing music, just
to deter it.
Yeah. So
agreed.
Oh, sorry. All right, I gotta get back to it, guys. Bye.
Yep. I know. Well, I'm glad you're getting healthier, man.
Yeah. So am I.
Yeah. That's it's good to see everybody get healthy, especially with COVID being like a respiratory thing, and it's not attacking as well. The majority of it's not attacking healthier people.
I honestly, I started trying to get back into shape just so I could outshow my brothers.
I need to get my 6-pack back. I need to get just back into healthy. We're turning the whole deck out there. Like we ordered AstroTurf, good, and we're gonna turn it into like a little workout area.
Oh, awesome.
So, anyways, but so how do people, not these, but how do people get your Capri Suns?
They can reach out to me right now. Like I said, I'm going through a lot of legalities of some stuff. As soon as they're back up and going, go like at Barely Buzz on Instagram or Facebook, and then they can follow it. And as soon as I get the green light, I will have a web page that they can go to.
And I'll put your link and everything in the show notes too, along with all the affiliates. And then events, you do them all over. So you can be hired literally for...
If you give me let's say 90 days, which is 3 months, I can do an event anywhere in the world.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, let me rephrase this. Anywhere in the nation.
Within budget. Yeah.
Yeah. If you want to... Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm the same way. I'll shoot a wedding anywhere in the nation. Yeah. I mean, so...
As long as, obviously, your stipulations and my stipulations make sense to each other.
Right.
The world is a little harder, but I am down for that as well.
Yeah.
I've been lucky enough to do a few out of country, but that's hard because that falls under a whole different category.
Well, I'm telling anybody who's listening, watching you bartend, you're somebody who loves it. You like all the tricky stuff, holding the cans upside down and flipping bottles, and you like literally making those drinks look and taste professional as hell. And these are good, man. I like this little 100 proof whiskey you gave me. I got a little tingly feeling going.
Make sure Gabby gets some of that. I don't know if she's
okay,
or not, but yeah,
she is.
That's for you guys.
Yeah, we'll enjoy it.
That pineapple one is delicious over soda water. That pineapple whiskey.
I'll try it.
Yeah,
absolutely.
It takes that sweetness.
Okay. Yeah, I will definitely try it. Yeah, the other one was really good too. And I'm not a cinnamon whiskey fan. I literally would only shoot Fireball with patrons,
that's because it's Irish. That's why you like it.
Probably.
Yeah.
I love have you tried the Jameson casket barrel?
Yes.
And I had the 30-year-old.
Oh, okay.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Her dad fucking drank all my good shit, like my 30-year-old. And funny. Yeah, I kept it for good occasions, but I love the casket when they put it in the was it the beer barrels, the stout barrels.
Yeah. So I'm not a fan of the IPA one. The stout's a little better. Have you had the IPA cask yet?
No.
So I'm not a big IPA fan, so that's probably a big reason why I don't like it.
So when I ran a bar, I was doing all the ordering and stuff. I would get, you talk to all the spirits, those guys, and you're like, so what else you got in there? I might have to order a bottle for personal use, like just kind of, yeah.
It's there's an art to negotiation. Have you had, what is that whiskey called? Screwball. I almost said Snowball. It's peanut butter whiskey. It's delicious.
Screwball. I'll check it out. We're big on tequila lately.
Okay.
Big tequila. Like I like some good tequilas.
All right.
I always joke, say Gabby and I met on tequila because we would just, that would be our shot of choice. Because so what we'd end up doing is, you know, to keep the atmosphere alive, your bar guests, you'd shoot with them, but we'd also have a tequila bottle back there that was just filled with water.
Don't be giving out trade secrets, man.
Sorry. Filled with H2O liquor.
They actually have a...
But we wouldn't charge them. You know, like they wouldn't buy it. We would be like, oh, no, we got these.
Yeah, it's that creating that camaraderie and that yeah.
But you also guys, like, that was after that night where we couldn't count the till. It was like, we've got to have something else. You know, we can't shoot 12 shots a night with guests within a 3-hour period.
And
you know?
It's crazy how that should not be something that's standard, which is.
In private bars, it is. Anything larger, chains or anything like that,
yeah,
it's
but
not.
when I say something standard, so it's funny because like I'll work a shift and I'm like, oh yeah, I didn't drink all that much, and then I sit at the end of the night like and I count, I'm like, fuck, we had 10 shots apiece, like fuck, that is a lot. And for me saying that's not a lot is like it puts things in perspective. Like, all right, you need to figure something else out because I don't want the thing that I love to make me the reason why people hate me.
Yes. Yeah, that's...
And it's a very slippery slope.
Yo, it's a thin line with alcohol.
And it's one of my biggest fears is having too much fun one night and not knowing how to stop.
My biggest issue was, you know me, I'm fairly non-confrontational. I like to bullshit, and I don't like to fight. I'll fight if I have to, but I don't like to. I don't know what it is, but people always wanted to start a fight with me. Always wanted to be confrontational. And I literally, there was times where I'm like, bro, like what? Calm down. Like, what's your issue? You know, and it was just, I don't know what it is. I think it's a beard.
Yeah, that might be it. But I don't know. Everybody wants to pick on the little guy, too.
I never saw you get into it with anybody. You always had like that. You handled the bar. Everybody loved you.
There's been several occasions.
I mean, but then again, I wasn't always there.
Yeah, there's been several occasions, but for the most part, being there, I don't want. What the fuck am I gonna fight for? I'm not fighting for my life. I'm not fighting for somebody else's life. Like, if my hands are gonna hurt, one of us is gonna probably go to jail or worse.
I was always the drunk where guys would be like, yo, cocksucker, and I'd be like, what's up? You know, I don't care. Like, what are your words to me? Yeah, it's...
My reply to somebody calling me a cocksucker, I'm like, bro, don't tell nobody.
You were supposed to keep it a secret!
I won't tell anybody you got a wooden dick if you don't tell anybody I got splinters in my mouth, man.
Yeah, it's... people get confrontational on alcohol.
Yeah.
They get confrontational.
There is some people that should not drink. Point blank, period.
It's everywhere, though.
It is.
That's why it was an essential business. Liquor stores left open.
Yeah. They gotta do something to calm them nerves.
AA closed and liquor stores stay open.
Did AA close?
Because of COVID.
Yeah, but is that considered essential?
Isn't there a lot of things considered essential?
What happened?
Isn't there a lot of things considered essential?
Fair enough.
Isn't like somebody that's supposed to go in for a heart bypass essential? Like that's being postponed.
That's not an elective surgery, is it?
Yeah, well, a lot of that stuff's elective surgery.
Well, yeah, a lot of it, but a bypass is not elective.
Sometimes like a hip is a hip replacement, but somebody's got issues and they have to walk around like that or something. Yeah. It's not all just plastic surgery.
Yeah, that's fair.
It really isn't. That's what they've been saying.
And that's considered elective.
Yeah, I mean it's weird times, man. I don't know. I wish you the best of luck, though. Absolutely. I hope you get some good gigs because I think Kentucky, Tennessee, Missouri, Oklahoma, and Texas are all kicking off pretty hard right now.
Okay, so I'll make this quick because I do gotta go. But
yes.
When I was going from Chicago to New Orleans, the further south I went, the less fucks were given.
The livelier it got.
Yes. I got into Alabama, and I think I maybe ran into one place that had a mask. The rest was, everything was open, like nothing stopped. What the fuck? Like, it never even occurred. They now have a curfew, like midnight, I think. But
yeah, it's I know a lot of people are moving to Texas. A lot.
Yeah, that makes sense.
No, I mean a lot. It's not like some people were talking about it. No, I know people who are literally, I just put in my 2 weeks, or we don't have a job anyway, so we sold everything and we're packing up. We're going to be in Texas next month.
That's crazy.
Where people are being hired in Texas.
Yeah.
There's a lot of hiring going on in Texas. A lot of Elon Musk is trying to move his business into Texas.
Oh.
He's trying to move Tesla.
Oh shit! I know they were talking about opening a Tesla in Reno.
I know Nevada's getting a bit rough too.
Yeah.
Because everybody wants to move to Nevada. They're pushed that way.
They were already doing that, and I think that for a lot of people, that's the easier move. But Texas, I've been looking at Tennessee.
Tennessee's a good place too.
Besides the
outside of Nashville.
I love
Nashville's hopping.
Nashville is probably my favorite city in America.
A lot of people say that.
Point blank period.
A lot of people say that. That's funny.
And I think you would have the same mindset as I, because music, food, entertainment, like.
Pretty sure a beach in Hawaii.
No.
Would be my spot.
That's fun. Like that. Yes, I want to.
That's me, buddy. I'm a total introvert.
That's fair.
I like one-on-ones. I don't like mass groups where everybody's trying to keep up with everything. I'm not wired like that. I'm very wired to chill.
But that's why I like Nashville. Nashville's very slow paced.
Yeah.
As busy as it is, it's slow paced.
It's on our list.
It's very southern, and I love the South. I 100% love the South.
Well, it's also very liberal too. Nashville's very liberal.
Yes.
But everywhere else outside isn't. Tennessee, Missouri, and Texas are on our list of backup plans.
That makes sense. And I take a beach on Puerto Rico way before Hawaii.
Which island?
That's fair. I was thinking Oahu.
That's it. Oahu's a city.
Isn't Oahu the island?
Yeah, it's a city on an island. That's what I'm saying. It's flying into San Francisco.
It is. It really is. So that's the only island I've ever been to.
Yeah, see, that's where everybody goes because that's the party spot. That's where you want to go. I've got family on Maui and Oahu, and my uncle, he actually races or did race those outrigger canoes.
Okay.
He races them from island to island.
Oh.
Dude is built like a fucking V because he's got twigs for legs and he's just all built like this. Yeah. So, in fact, our family who is Hawaiian, their last name is Keikoa, which means warrior, and that was my son's middle name.
Oh, okay.
So, anyways, yeah, Hawaii's more my pace. I think I want to take Gab. I like snorkeling. I like sitting on the beach, having a couple cocktails, going for hikes.
That's fair enough.
That's my.
I almost died snorkeling in Hawaii.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Come on.
So I'm not a strong swimmer at all.
Oh, really?
I love the water, and I think hopefully not, but water might be one of the reasons I die. I love the water.
I would hate to drown. That would be one of the worst. I think burning would be the worst because you're alive for so long.
Yeah.
I think drowning, at least you go unconscious.
Yeah, at a certain point, yeah. I think you're going to... Yeah, but I feel like if you got burnt alive...
You're alive for a long time when you burn
You don't
alive.
think at a certain point you're...
That takes a lot. You got to think about that.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah.
Anyways, go ahead. You're snorkeling. You almost die.
Yeah.
How?
So we were out. We went pretty far out, and my buddy goes, "Hey," I was like, "Can I?" He goes, "You'll be fine. You float. It's salt water." So, okay, no problem. We're good. And we go out quite a while.
What, you made of lead?
Pretty much. Dude, and it's funny. So, and in hindsight, I could have just spit out the snorkel in general because water went in.
You couldn't just go.
Yeah, and I didn't realize that's what was happening. So I'm trying to figure out what's happening, and my buddy goes,
You were drunk or high or
no, sober as can be.
Yeah.
And he goes, dude, go parallel. Well, I heard perpendicular. I went straight up and went whoop. And at that point, I'm like, oh shit. So I'm trying to tread water, and I'm already tired. And I don't think I was high or drunk, but I might have been hungover. We were like on our 4th day, and it was like five of us.
You don't want to snorkel when you're.
Anyways, one of my guys go, dude, that lifeguard was out there like that. By the time I popped up the second time, he was like, "Yo, what's going on?" He goes, "Why are you so calm and you're going underwater?" I was like, "It's not the first time."
Oh, jeez.
So, and I was like, "All right, how about this? I'll go back." And he's like, "Get on the board." I said, "No, I don't want to get on the board. I'm not getting on the board with. I don't want to hear these motherfuckers." I said, "How about I'll just go back. I'll go to the shore." And a big old lady come rolling up. "I'll use the board." I said, "Yeah, give her the board." And he goes, "Get on the board." I said, "Give her the board. I'll go back.
I'm not Jack. You Rose.
I said, "Give her the board. I'm gonna go." And I decided, goes. I said, "Well, are you gonna lose your job if I don't do it?" He goes, "No." I said, "All right, but I am gonna lose my pride if I don't." He goes, "Go ahead." I said, "Thank you."
Fair enough.
Looked at then I went back about a year later with my brother, and we went snorkeling again. But this one was more of a shallow area.
Yeah.
And we were with a bunch of kids, and I put on the mask and I went in the water and I went, "Nope." And he goes, "Seriously?" My brother looks at me and goes, "You're not coming into the water with me?" I said, "All right." And I worked through the fear, but I'm not going to do snorkeling again.
No?
Nope.
I love it.
I think it's awesome. Nope.
I did free dove for a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, and that was fun. I learned how to drop all the way to the bottom and,
awesome.
And really control your breathing so that you can have the longest breath. Anyways,
without tanks?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I used to practice a lot up in like river spots where you could grab a rock and just kind of like let it take you to the bottom, and where it's super deep. There was a spot that was like 20 feet deep. And anyways,
how far can you free dive without a tank?
Down?
Yeah.
I don't know. I've never measured it down. I just measured by how long I could stay under.
Fair enough.
So like, how long can I move around without exerting myself to the point where I need to come up? So, and it's a lot of it's about staying calm.
Yeah.
Really knowing your lung capacity and moving slowly and fluidly.
Yeah.
Without exerting, because you exert, you got to take air, So.
It was your form of meditation.
Yeah, it really was. And but Hawaii is everything it says. I've never seen the color blue like that ocean.
Yeah, that's fair.
That is some rich blue. When you're flying over it, and it's like, wow. I told Gabby, I said, we gotta go. I gotta take Gabby. She's never been.
It is pretty gorgeous. I will say that.
Yeah, I've never seen clearer water than Hawaii. My dad and I, some of the positive memories I have, we were like in the water 5:30 in the morning body surfing. It's so warm. Awesome. Because it's warm.
Yeah.
It's like, anyways. But, long story short. But yeah, it's good having you on, buddy. I'm glad you came on.
I'm glad you had me.
And we're going to plug all your stuff.
Invite.
I appreciate the drinks.
Oh, absolutely.
So
I appreciate Flo's teriyaki.
I think everybody appreciates that. That's good stuff. Take some home.
I will.
We'll pack you up some.
Yeah, I absolutely will.
Cool.
Anybody listening, if you could get on the show specifically for the Flo's teriyaki.
Oh, now you're gonna make me cook it for everybody.
Oh, yeah. If you do not get to eat this, you didn't like it.
Well, they might be vegan too.
Oh, if it's your choice, I understand.
But if they're vegan and they try this, they will no longer be vegan. It might convert you.
I feel like that's very chewy tofu.
There we go. All right, buddy. Let's sign off. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Subscribe to our podcast wherever you download your podcast. Become one of our listeners. So follow us, like us, subscribe. We all know you're on social media. Everybody's on social media. My great aunt is on social media. Check us out. So until next time, cheers, guys, and stay sane out there.